What I've been telling you, what I've been trying, what I've been adjusting, that's things that you have to do in your training sessions kind of on the fly, because some dogs don't train exactly like the other dogs. Hey guys, Kat here from Standing Stone, and today I'm going to be working on collar conditioning with Glitch, our little 5-month-old puppy. He is ready for collar conditioning to a place, and what do I mean by ready for collar conditioning? Well, we first taught the behavior of going to his dog bed, going to his platform with positive reinforcement training. Now, with distractions and things, and him becoming a little more independent, and those positive reinforcement rewards not meaning quite as much to him, he is not staying on his dog bed as easily or going to his dog bed as easily in those distracting situations. So it's time to reinforce that behavior, strengthen that behavior through negative reinforcement training. And in operant conditioning, positive doesn't mean good and negative mean bad, which is a misconception. Positive means adding something to the situation, and negative means taking something away from the situation. So positive reinforcement training, he gets a food reward for going on his platform. Negative reinforcement training means he's going to feel vibrate on the collar until he gets all the way onto his place. So we're going to take away the vibrate once he gets onto the bed. So we are going to be collar conditioning him today, just sending him to his bed with the vibrate on the collar. We're not asking for longer durations, but that's our ultimate goal, because at this point, with his independence and the distractions of the household, other dogs, the kids running around, things for him to be excited about, he isn't staying on his dog bed and he's getting into things, counter surfing, trying to go grab kids' toys, or just chasing the other dogs around. So we're ready. He is ready for collar conditioning. Let me grab him and get started. So I'm going to get our DT Systems MR1100 e-collar on Glitch in the proper position. I want it up at the highest point of his neck, tight enough that those contacts are going to make good, consistent contact, but not so tight that it's uncomfortable or he's choking on it. So I'm going to just loop this strap, because our antenna runs all the way through the strap, back up out of the way so it's not a distraction in the session. But I don't want to cut that because it would shorten our range. The nice thing about the MR1100 collar is it has vibrate, continuous, and momentary stimulation. And I'm going to only be using vibrate today. I do have a long line or tether available if need be, because if he gets too distracted or he feels the vibrate and he tries to go over to one of the camera people and kind of hide or avoid the situation, I have a way to clip him up and help continue the session back, or continue the rep back to his place. I'm not going to need that at the moment though, but it is available if I need it, so just being prepared. I am going to start my training session by warming him up with the behavior we're going to be collar conditioning today, which is the cue kennel. So I'm going to have him get to his bed with the cue kennel. Not quite, buddy. Let's try again. Kennel. All 4 feet is what I wanted. He tried just a couple feet and then came off last time. So kennel. I'm using a Cato board today because it's a little bit smaller than the Kuranda dog beds, so he has to be very precise of going to that place, getting all 4 feet on it. Good. So I'm just warming him up, keeping the momentum of the session going, getting him focused on the fact that we are training kennel. Good. As you can see, he's already a little more engaged, a little more focused. He knows what we're working on. I'm also not expecting duration here. I'm not holding that click for longer and longer. I'm just clicking as soon as he gets on the platform. So, okay. Kennel. Give him a little body language. Kennel. I did click, mark the behavior, but he got off the bed or the platform. So we're going to say kennel. If you've seen some of his other videos, you know he does a really good job with this. It's just a matter of getting him back in the frame of mind of training in here. We've been doing a lot of training sessions in the house. Though I didn't ask for the cue, he knows this is what we're working on, and I'm trying to strengthen that behavior right now. Kennel. And being able to send him from a little bit further distance, not right next to the platform. Now I'm going to hold that click for a little longer. Kennel. building on some of that duration kind of naturally with this positive reinforcement training. We're doing this in a controlled environment. There's not a lot of distractions, guys. But in the house where there are a lot of distractions, his duration is really short. I love that he's offering the behavior that he knows he's getting rewarded for, so we can just reward him for it again. But ultimately, when we start overlaying the collar, kennel, we're not going to be asking for duration at that point. We're just going to be repping, getting on your bed. So when I start that, I'm going to still offer food rewards. I'm not going to be able to juggle a clicker, the transmitter of the collar, and even if I have to grab the check cord, I'm not going to be able to juggle all of that anymore. So the clicker goes away, but the food reward stays. He's very food motivated, he loves to work, and I would expect that he's not going to quit eating the food reward when it's offered because he's also really mentally stable. But if he decides he'd rather not eat food rewards after we start introducing the collar, no big deal, guys, just put him away and work through the session with vibrate. So I'm going to try and lift the collar when I'm using the collar so that you know when I'm using the collar, but I'm going to hit vibrate, I'm going to give him the cue kennel, and as soon as he's on the dog bed, the place board, it's going to shut off. So it's going to go like this. Again, I'm not using the collar, I'm just explaining. I'm going to say kennel. He's going to go to the bed, and it's going to shut off. I wasn't using it, he just did it because we've been doing the positive reinforcement stuff, and he understands the cue and what he's getting rewarded for. So this is going to be the first real rep, guys, the first real rep. Kennel. Walking towards the place, giving him some body language. Hey, as soon as he got on, it shut off, even though he got off. We're just like the clicker. Basically, this shutting off marked that he did what he was supposed to do, even though there was no click, but he could get off again because we're just repping going to his platform at this point. So again, kennel. Good. So he is getting off the platform immediately and then getting that food reward. So if I end up seeing a bad pattern happening here in the next couple reps, then I will adjust things. Kennel? Good, you still get your food. I'm going to try and reward him back on that platform so that we can continue associating. Just staying on there is the good thing to do. So we'll do a couple more reps. Kennel? He's just feeling vibrate, guys. And as soon as he gets there, it shuts off. Good. As you can see, his demeanor has changed a little bit, right? His tail's down, he's a little more unsure of what we're doing because this is new. He's never felt vibrate on the collar before. He's never worn an e-collar before, but he still understands the behavior, and this is going to help strengthen that behavior when we get to distracting situations where he doesn't necessarily want to listen or stay on his bed for a food reward because what he'd rather do, which is run around the house or try and get something off the counters or jump on people, is more valuable to him than a food reward is at that point. So I'm going to do another rep. Come on, buddy. Good job. Kennel? Good. Good. And I tried to interrupt him getting off the bed again with my voice. Like, good, you did it right. Let's stay there. So let's try again. Kennel? Good. He's absolutely going right to that, guys. He understands that that's the cue that he's been given, and we just have to keep associating that the collar is going to shut off when he gets there. Kennel? Good. I'm going to try something a little bit different this time, guys. He's feeling the collar, he's going to the bed, it's shutting off, and he's getting, and then he's getting off the bed. So I'm going to anticipate that he's probably going to move off the bed right away, and I'm going to actually hold on to the vibrate and see if I can get him to stay there for more than a half a second. So I haven't used the collar, but he's like, I'm there. Come on. Good. Kennel? Kennel? All the way. Good. So I gave him a little verbal to to try and interrupt him as well because he traveled off the platform and kept vibrate still held. I hadn't shut it off till he came back to the platform. I know there's one foot still off the platform, but I'm going to give it to him because he came back to the platform, which was ultimately what I wanted him to do. We'll try another rep here. Kennel. Walking to the bed a little bit, giving him some body language. Kennel. Kennel. Come in, kennel. Good. So I tried that time where he got there, shut it off again, he got off. Immediately the collar came back on, like, oh, the floor is lava. I should just stay on this spot because then I don't feel the vibrate. And he didn't quite get that context, so I gave him a little more body language back to that platform. And then he got back there, it shut off, and he was more willing to stay there, as well as that food reward came from me right while he was on that platform. So these are all really good things for him to be associating. What I've been telling you, what I've been trying, what I've been adjusting, that's things that you have to do in your training sessions kind of on the fly, because some dogs don't train exactly like the other dogs, and you don't always know that going into the session. Their first session, how are we going to deal with that? So that's why I mentioned having your check cord on hand, or adjusting how I'm using the collar and how I'm using my food rewards and how I'm using my body language. And if you guys don't know how to do that because you're not a professional dog trainer and this is your first dog you've ever trained, well, reach out to us on patreon.com/Standing Stone Kennels, where we can help you as you're going through a training session live and give you that feedback that you need. Kennel? Good job, Glitch. That was really good. He didn't try and step off his bed that time when the vibrate shut off. I didn't have to push vibrate to get him back on. That means he's learning, folks. He's figuring this out. Good job, buddy. Okay, just a few more reps. Come on, buddy. Kennel? What a smart puppy. What a smart puppy. Good. Good. Let's try from this direction here. This is a little bit different. Another little challenge that I can throw at him because he's doing so well. Kennel? Kennel? Good. Good. Okay. Okay. Good boy. Kennel? Good job, buddy. Wow, guys. I don't know about you, but I am impressed. The amount of progress that he made in this session is incredible. We went from having to use a lot of body language, even with positive reinforcement, to build the momentum of the session of, hey, we're getting on this place. And there was a lot of distractions of getting off the bed, getting on the bed. And then when we started using the collar, you know, he got on the bed and immediately got off. And now even just the fact that we were repping the getting on the bed type of situation, we weren't working on duration, he's already offering duration through this session because of the understanding he has with putting all the pieces together that this is the expectation we have now. Good job, buddy. Guys, he did great. I'm super impressed, as should you be. And if you guys are trying to get your dog to stay on their place for longer and longer durations, collar conditioning might be the key. If you have questions, definitely reach out. And until next time, I'm Kat the dog trainer, this is Glitch, and we'll see you in the next video.